Hello everyone, Patrick here, and oh boy, this has just been a great year for me as a collector. Because I'm getting to take a look at something else that I've been looking at for, how many years? 2021? This thing came out in 2021? Jeez. So for 4 years now. It's another crossover, of course. One I've been looking forward to getting for 4 years. Combines two of my favorite franchises. Well, my favorite franchise and something I really enjoy. Dinosaurs. Today we are taking a look at the Transformers Jurassic Park crossover of... she fell over. She's sitting on my table perfectly fine, but now. Tyrannocon Rex and JP93, who I am going to call Dune, for reasons we'll get into in robot mode. But before we even take a look at these two, let's take a look at this fantastic and massive box that I genuinely want to get another one of, so I can have it. God, you can see me. Screw it, I was gonna put on a mask, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I genuinely want to get another one of these so I can display them in the box, because the way they come in packaged is really cool. With Tyrannocon just there, roaring, standing on top of the car, and JP just sitting there. Oh, it's so cool. But, yeah. So let's take a look at the box, which is, again, massive. Like, for comparison, there's JP. Here is, Animated Motor Master. Gears. Grimlock. And as you can see, there are also my comparisons for this video. Yeah, this box is freaking huge, and I dropped JP's gun. Yay. Anyway, the scene on what the box is supposed to, be showing is the T-Rex breakout scene from the first Jurassic Park movie in 1993. Hence, 93 in JP. So yeah, this was the first Jurassic Park set they released. They released one more with Dilophoncon and JP12, who I'm going to call Dree, because Dennis Nedry, whatever. Yeah, there's the Jurassic Park logo. Decepticon Tyrannocon Rex, Autobot JP93, A+, Hasbro, Transformers. You can see a little bit of flames right here. The detailing is so good. On this side of the box, I literally have to have my... Yeah, you have Jurassic Park, Danger, 10,000 volts, for the electric fence, authentic Transformers. On the back, no obligatory product shots, but what you do get is a T-Rex footprint, the, bio, which is basically, Tyrannocon Rex is loose, not like that. Oh, also, if you notice, the bio clearly states, do not approach her. Tyrannocon is a confirmed female on the box. Return her to her paddock. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out because, a couple other reviewers, when reviewing Tyrannocon, have, called her a he. Because they're so used to, Transformers being male. And the original mold for her was a guy. Being Beast Wars Megatron. But no, if you know anything about Jurassic Park, all of the dinosaurs were bred female. Thus it makes sense that Tyrannocon would be female as well. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. You can see, JP is an officially licensed Ford product. You have the scan and play thing. Don't know what that is, I've never actually done it. And then, this side is, I think... Did I already look at that side, or is... No, both sides are the same. Up top, we have Jurassic Park in a different font than usual. My theory is that this is just the font they used when Hasbro was making Jurassic Park figures. But whatever. On the bottom, you have a continuation of the mud and stuff, barcode, warnings, Jurassic Park, you know, 04's license plate. Includes 2 figures, accessory instructions, all that fun stuff. I'm not going to throw this box because I actually really like the box, and I'm, again, wanting to keep... I want to get another set to have in the box. Anyway. So, bringing back in our cast for this, we have JP93 and Tyrannocon Rex. Who should I start with? You know, most people start with Tyrannocon because it's a mold we've already seen before. However, I like Tyrannocon more than JP, so we're going to save my favorite for last. That's not saying JP here is a bad figure. He is not. I have some nitpicks, but he's not a bad figure. He looks slap-bang perfect to the Jurassic Park Ford Explorers that were shown in the 1993 movie. I show a picture, but I don't edit these as well as I do my other videos. Yeah, so let's get in close here on the details. Some nice grill, dog hair not included. Dog hair not included. Underside, you can see the robot, how it kind of works, but, you know. Still, it looks really good. It looks perfect. Like, you know, if you filled in the, panel lines and covered up the head, like, if you just saw this thing on someone's shelf, you would think it was a, you know, a scaled down model of the actual car. Which is really freaking cool. I like that. He does come with an accessory. The shotgun Robert Muldoon used in the raptor scene. Right before it... in his last scene, yeah. You can store this one of 2 ways. There's some slots up there, and there's a tab right there. You can tab it into this one. Or this one, and just have the car driving around with a shotgun on it. Or you can tab it in under here, using this slot and this tab right here. Which takes a little bit of, you know, looking to actually do. There we go. And there we go. He rolls quite well, quite well. Not the best. His wheels are clip. As you can see, they're friction clip rather than pin, which is a little unfortunate, but, you know. Anyway, yeah, like I said, this is almost perfect. Like, this is a perfect recreation of the Jurassic Park Jeep. You got, you know, Jurassic Park, the logo, which looks a little scuffed, but, you know. The rims are painted, tail lights, the or this section, roll cage. Looks so good. The back windshield is painted rather than clear, which, given how much clear plastic is already on this figure, I'm okay with that. Yeah, and they even got the yellow striping on the bottom. Oh, this looks so perfect. For comparison, so you can get a general size, here he is with gears. Here he is with Legacy Animated Motormaster. So yeah. And here he is with the 86 Prime mold. Which I think Prime's a little small still, but I think this is probably the best scaling we're gonna get. So yeah. Now, let's get on to transformation. This transformation is simple but effective. You want to remove the gun, open the doors, which I kind of wish the windshield, or was just the actual single door section, and the window came with it, because that would be just really cool to do. But anyway, open up the doors. You're going to want to raise this middle section, which will unclip it from the back, like this. You can then take these sections right here, which almost look like seats, and push them down and rotate them to get them cleared. Rotate, push down. You're going to bring this front section with the Jurassic Park emblem, bring it up. Rotate the shoulders and clip them in. Rotate, clip them in. Bring them down. Bring the fists out. Orient everything properly. Down. Orient everything properly. Flip the fist out. Bring the hood down. It will kind of boop into place right there. And tab. Bring this section back. You're going to unfold the legs. Split them. Take these sections. Now this is where a scary part would happen, because you would have to, flex clear plastic through clear plastic. I shaved this tab so I don't have to, so it's just, there's enough there that it, still holds this in place. Like if you do it too hard, it'll pop out, but also that's copyright stuff. But yeah. Normally you'd have to flex clear plastic, and you don't want to do that for reasons. Clear plastic tab will go into the slot right here. Yeah. The clear plastic use on the feet is probably my biggest nitpick with this guy, but can't deny that is a nice, simple but effective robot mode. So yeah, that is JP93 in robot mode. He looks good. He looks good. One of my friends, I've heard a couple people say they don't really like it because of how simple it is. That they could have done more with, the legs and stuff. But I like it. It's a unique mold. So yeah. Again, my only gripe is how much clear plastic there is. And it's 2021 clear plastic. Yeah. Anyway. Let's get in close on the head sculpt, if I can with it. I need to bring in my recording box, or my camera stand box. Yeah, let's get in close on the head. Now, I think the head is supposed to be modeled after, Dr. Alan Grant, because Grant was the, the guy in the car next to Ian Malcolm when the T-Rex broke out. And he, wore a cowboy hat, sunglasses. This figure looks like it's wearing a cowboy hat and sunglasses. It makes sense, but at the same time, the head almost looks and feels more like Robert Muldoon, the raptor trainer. Which is doubled by the fact that he has the shotgun Robert Muldoon used. And the hat looks a little bit closer to Robert's. And the face is a little bit slimmer, the actor for Robert Muldoon, compared to the actor for Alan Grant. Muldoon had a bit, slimmer, taller of a face. Grant had a little bit rounder of a face. Well, technically more squared, but still, So this just feels like Robert Muldoon. So I'm going to call this guy Dune. Because, while JP93 is a great name for him, because Jurassic Park 1993, I feel like he deserves an actual name as well. But yeah, There's not a lot of new detail, because, you know, the thighs are pretty plain, the arms are pretty plain. I put this Autobot sticker on myself, so it does not come with that, so, you know. But, yeah. He can hold his shotgun, if you want him to. If you also want, there's a long tab on either side. There are the slots, tab. And just plug it on right here, if you don't want him to be holding his gun. So yeah, articulation. I'm going to take the gun off because it's going to fall off. The head is on a ball joint, but as you can see, it's a closed ball joint. So you don't really get him to look up a lot, which sucks because of how much bigger Tyrannocon is than him. So if you want him to be properly looking up at her, he has to be like tilted back. The shoulders do a full 360. You know, you can't do it straight back because the doors will get in the way of you, but still. Here's my second nitpick. Ball jointed elbows. This was 2021. Only really core class figures used ball joints for anything other than the head at this point. But it's fine. They serve their purpose, and if they get loose, you can just tighten them with floor polish. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of the ball joints for, you know, an elbow like this on a big figure like this. And he also has ball joint there, which again, not a big fan of, but whatever. I'll get to that later. But because of the ball joint, you do get rotation, slightly over 9 degrees of bend. Nothing at the wrist unless you unclip it and then fold it in. You can use it to fold in, but whatever. Nothing at the waist. I've seen a lot of people point out they could have definitely fit a mushroom peg in there, but my guess is that just came down to budget. Because I don't think they had a massive budget for this set, and most of the budget went to the fact that this guy's a new figure, licensing out Ford, and Tyrannocon's paint. I think that's where most of the budget went to. But still, legs are ball joint. You can kick forward that far, backward that far, outward. Can't do the full split. You do get a little bit of wibble wabble because of how ball joints work. You do also have an actual thigh swivel, which there's just a shiny part of the plastic, which made me think something shaved off. Knees can go back this far, but then it starts looking a little weird for transformation. This is really as far back as it can go and still look natural. Otherwise, you know, transformation. Ankles can rock out a little bit. There's a little gap filler there, which only works from the side, barely. You know, he's not a bad figure. I do quite like him. I'm just stoked we actually get a Jurassic Park vehicle transformer. Like, how often? Like, that is really freaking cool. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Now, for comparison, let's raise the camera slightly. Here we have him with gears. So as you can see, he's tall. He's a tall deluxe. Here he is with Animated Motormaster, which I have to say thank you to Zeno the Archivist for sending me a bunch of figures to sell. Sorry, most of them are not going to be sold. There's only like 3 that are going to be sold out of all the ones you gave me. Anyway, yeah, thank you. I will be buying the DNA upgrade kit that gives this guy the trailer and the Motormaster, or the Menosaur armor thing. That's why I've wanted this figure. And, of course, here he is with the 86 Prime mold. As you can see, I think that works. I think that looks good. Alright, but now, oh boy, now, we get into what I consider the meat and potatoes of this set. Now, JP is good. JP93 is good. He is a really decent figure. However, I personally, his box mate eclipses him in just about every regard. Say hello to, let me straighten her neck so she looks a little bit better. Or that piece is just going to be coming out. Okay, whatever. Say hello to Tyrannocon Rex. Oh my gosh, this figure. Oh, ho, 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 ho. So, I've never had the Kingdom Megatron mold. The Kingdom Beast Wars Megatron. I've never had it. I've wanted it, but I could never find it. It looks... oh my gosh. I gotta admit, I'm not a big fan of Beast Wars Megatron's Barney color scheme, but in realistic colors... oh my fucking god, this looks amazing. Mine does have a little, issue. Where one eye looks good and the other is, she's a little cross-eyed. She, had a little bit too much to drink. But, whatever. I think this is the best T-Rex figure Hasbro has ever produced. And that's, you know, not just Transformers. That is everything they've done. I think this is the best T-Rex figure they've ever done. But let's get in close on the details. There's that nice head sculpt. It's not one-to-one with Rexy in the movie, but this figure was not designed to originally be Rexy. It was designed to just be a realistic T-Rex. Look at all that skin detailing and the way the color works. Oh my god. It looks so good. This panel's a little weird. But, oh my god, it looks so good. So good. One thing I will say is, because they do the Beast Wars, you know, robot color contrasts with Beast Mode color, and is usually very bright and vibrant, but, you know, robot color is almost completely hidden in Beast Mode. Well, chose red for her robot color, and, if you move her head, you can see the red. From certain points, it looks like she's got very deep gashes and was, like, wounded. So it almost looks like dino flesh. But whatever. And even the details on the feet. Oh my god. I'm not a feet person, but oh my god. Girl, where do you get your nails done? And even the underside looks so good. Like, oh my god. Even the underside, yeah, there's a couple gaps here, but who cares? Oh my fucking god, she looks so good. She looks so good. This panel's not wanting to stay, whatever. She does have some articulation in Dino mode. Her head can move up like this. So, you know, you can get that. Her mouth does open. It opens all the way, but, you know, the cheek detailing only goes about that far. As you can see, they even molded in her tongue. The roof of the mouth, I don't know how well you can see that because it's in black. And yeah, there's a cannon, you know, gun in there. That's just Beast Wars Megatron. You can move it up at this hinge as well, but that looks like she just got her throat slit. You can move the head a little bit without all of this, but not really without all of this coming undone. Like, you know. And there's where I get more into the, it looks like flesh, you know. But still, you know, this section here does move a little bit, so, you know. But again, these panels don't really move, so it looks great from, you know, one angle. And then the other angle looks like she's, been wounded. But, you know. You know, still. Her dino arms are on ball joints. Which is really cool. The feet can move back. About that far. Can move forward. Oh. About that far before things start getting untabbed. Knees can bend a nice degree. Feet can move forward, can move back. You do have ankle tilt, however, on mine the ankle tilt is really stiff. But you've still got it. And, oh, like I said, give me 1 sec to fix this. Okay, I just moved the leg a little too far and I started untabbing things. You do also get below the knee rotation, if you need that. Can go out a little bit. Does break a little bit of the sculpt, but, you know. And then you have movement in the tail. The tail can move side to side at the base, and can move side to side here, so you can get, you know, decent tail pose as well. It doesn't really go up and down, but I don't think T-Rex tails did really go up and down too much. But yeah, she is very articulate and very poseable in T-Rex mode. And you can get, you know, a nice, you know, lower to the ground roaring pose. Or at least you can on a more level table than this. Because this recording table is not great for anything, really. But, you know, you can get... If she will cooperate on this table. Because, like, on my normal table, she does fine, but recording table, she doesn't, apparently. Apparently, she just does not like this recording table. But, you know, you can get a nice, you know, down low roar. I swear she actually stands, it's just the table because of the material it is. You can get a nice, good roaring pose at the car. Why is it just this table that you refuse to stand on, Rexy? Tyrannocon. So you... Quote me, you can get the pose, it's just the table. And I think my table's at an angle, so she's not wanting to. But you can do it. You can do it. I swear to God, you can do it. But, yeah. I guess, you know, comparison, let me stand her up so she'll, even on this table, she'll, you know, stand, hopefully. Here she is with JP93. Considerably bigger. Here she is with Power of the Prime's Dinobot Slash. Which, by the way, here's how they compare with JP3 as well. I think this is probably kind of accurate for a Velociraptor, or Utah Raptor is more accurate, but whatever. But still. And here she is with my only other T-Rex figure, who is not wanting to cooperate very much. And I'm trying to get him in the standard T-Rex pose as well. 86 Grimlock. Let's put them nose to nose and then bring the camera back. As you can see, they are actually closer in size than I thought they would be. But of course, that's with Grimlock in a standard T-Rex pose. In his normal, more Godzilla-esque stance for G1, there's that. But that's not how a real T-Rex stood. This is how a real T-Rex theoretically stood. This was, you know, the Godzilla thing that the Marvel Comics and Hasbro and all them did. No, they are actually, closer in size than I thought. I actually think Tyrannocon is slightly longer at the tail. Let's, position Grimlock so he's a little bit closer to her stance. And yeah, Tyrannocon is slightly, longer at the tail. And, you know, if we trying to get Grimlock in as close to her stance as possible. You know, as you can see, if they're in the same stance, you know, Grimlock is about the same height, but, you know, Tyrannocon has the tail length. And I believe Grimlock has the bulk, but that's because he's, you know, modeled after a robotic T-Rex, not an actual T-Rex. Yeah. So, yeah. I love this Dino mode. I love her. I love her. She looks amazing. And she poses really well when not on the texture of my card table. Yeah. So, let's get down to transformation. Alright, so you're going to want to lift this thigh panel and snap it in. It does loudly snap. And it does almost feel like you're putting in more force than usual. Also, most of the dino skin is like this soft, is like this hard rubber, which almost feels like almost like a leather in a way, which is really cool. Anyway, you're going to want to bring this up. It untabs from these sections of the back. Shift it forward. We'll snap in. Take the thighs. They're on the slider. Just slide them down like this. You're going to want to come into under here to Rexy's belly and gut her. That's basically what you're doing, is you're gutting her. Take these panels and fold them out. You can slide the T-Rex head forward if you want. These panels are on a spring, so they will spring down. This one I try to keep up because it just helps with, everything. Yeah. And you're going to collapse this, fold this down. Not quite going to do it on this side yet. You can, it's just, this makes it a little bit easier. Anyway, you're going to want to come to the leg, unclip it from the torso, and then the reason I keep this one up is so you have enough clearance to rotate the torso. Then you can, fold it down and close this up. You're going to want to kind of bring down the torso, bring up the head, bring the legs down, and shift them in on these hinges. Shift them in. Bring them as together as possible while you collapse them in to get her crotch. You're going to bring this down and clip it in like that, which can be a chore, and it's going to look a bit like this from the top. You want to bring this back up, set this out of the way so you can tuck in the T-Rex arms if you want. Bring that back. You're going to want to come here, shift these panels out, bring them up, and then shift them in, out, up, in. This arm you're just going to want to bring down and rotate. If you want, doing it like this gives her a gorilla arm, but it looks better. You can give her a normal arm, it just doesn't look as good. So, gorilla arm. Then you're going to want to come in here, untab these, and push to make sure, that clears that. Then bring that down. Go ahead and rotate it, so you can do the same thing on that side. Rotate. Rotate the tip of the tail, like this. Take this section and flip it down. And there you have Tyrannocon Rex in her robot mode, where she's not wanting to stand on the card table. I promise she stands in almost any pose you put her. It's just the card table. But yeah, oh boy, she looks good. The Beast Wars Megatron mold really works in this realistic color scheme, but also more Dinobot-like color scheme. Because, you definitely get Dinobot vibes from her, right? It's not just me, right? Right? Yeah, she looks so good. Oh. I think this is probably the best the Beast Wars Megatron look has ever looked. I do kind of wish there was a little bit more paint, in these grills right here. Maybe a little hint of silver in the legs, but whatever. It's not I'm not gonna knock it against the figure for you know, not having that. Especially when the rest of the Dino, you know, paint looks so fucking good. Let's get in close on her head sculpt. And yeah, that looks like a, you know, like what you would expect a Decepticon dinosaur to look like. It almost looks like an evil version of Grimlock's head, I've seen people say. But, you know, I like it. I think she looks fantastic. Tyrannocon herself doesn't include any accessories, but, she has the tail and dinosaur head on her arms. I don't think she needs an accessory. Plus, if you look in here, there's guns sculpted in here, so, you know. She's not lacking in weaponry, because she has guns sculpted in here. She has a claw right here. She has a fucking T-Rex head that has a gun in the mouth. Which, by the way, that gun is Mass Effect compatible. So, you know, even in Dino mode, so if you want Rexy just, you know, shooting fire out of her mouth. But, yeah. Articulation-wise, she is still pretty good. You know, she's still really good. The head is on a ball joint. Can rotate. Wiggle waggle, good luck. Can look up all the way, it's on an open one, but if you look it up all the way, it becomes very loose. I've seen people say they have issues with the backpack. I don't, by the way. Arms do a full 360. This one has a bit of a butterfly. This arm, you know, bicep rotation. 90 degrees at the elbow. But if you want, because the T-Rex joint head, you can get her to do this. And, yeah, the mouth opens and closes for any posing you might want. Again, you can leave it like this and just have her with a gorilla arm. Or you can do, you know, orient her elbow properly and have the bottom of the T-Rex jaw. Whichever you think looks cooler. I personally am going to keep it like this, just because I think that looks cooler. This arm, you know... Oh, I forgot to show how far up it can go. This arm, only about that far. This arm, a little bit more. Again, bicep rotation, 90 degrees at the elbow. The fist can come up, for some reason. And, of course, the claw can open and close. The tip of the tail can still wiggle waggle, and you can rotate it if you want. She has a waist joint, which, given how she transforms, that's actually kind of impressive. She can kick forward, that far, back, about that far before stuff really gets in the way. Outward, only about that far until this gets in the way, but I've solved the world's issue, and she can do a really high kick. So yeah, if you know, undo that. And you can leave these down here if you want. I just think it looks a little bit better on her hip. And then the rest of the leg is basically like Dino mode. You have rotation right here. You've got about 90 degrees at the knee. You've got the hinge forward and back in the foot. And you've got your tiltage. So yeah, she is a pretty damn good has some pretty damn good articulation in both of her modes, which is really cool. I really, really dig this figure. And again, she can stand, just not on my card table apparently. But yeah, now, for comparison, here she is with Slash. Here she is with 86 / Power of the Primes Geo and Grimlock. And yeah, Grim is a bit taller, but he also transforms in a completely different way. Like, Grim uses the mass of the tail to make his legs. Tyrannocon uses the actual legs of the T-Rex to form her legs. It's actually really interesting, you know, the two both have the same alt mode, essentially, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But the way they go about using the alt mode and, you know, making the robot is really different, and I love that. I just love that. Here she is with the 86 Prime mold. So you can see she's about a little bit taller than 86 Prime. And here she is with her rival slash boxmate, JP93. So yeah, these two look really good together. Oh my god. I cannot wait to be able to get that, the Dilophoton and JP12. Because I want to see more of these Jurassic Park crossover sets. I mean, if Hasbro didn't want to make new molds for the dinosaurs, we've got, you know, a handful of other pre-made dinosaur molds that Hasbro can use. We got, you know, the Kingdom Beast Wars Dinobot / Maximal Grimlock mold, you know, for Velociraptors. We've got Terrorsaur for, you know, Pteranodons. Fuck. They could modify, you know, they can modify Tyrannocon here into a Spinosaurus for JP3. You know? They could, you know, there's a lot more they could do. And that's, you know, for dinosaurs, and that's not even making new molds. You know, they could make new molds for, you know, the dinosaurs. They did it with Dilophoton. You know, the only problem there is what vehicles would you pack in with them. For a Velociraptor, you can do one of the motorcycle molds, be it Prowl, you know, Animated Prowl or Prime RC. You know, to because Jurassic World, they did, you know, ride motorcycles next to the raptors. So you could do that for the raptors. For Pteranodon, I don't know. Probably a, you probably reuse JP12's mold or JP12's mold and, you know, change the head. For a potential Spinosaurus, you could do a boat or a plane, like a passenger jet, or not passenger, a private jet, because the Spinosaurus does actually attack the private jet in JP3. So you could do that. Now there's loads of stuff you could do. So I really hope we do get to see more of these crossover sets later on. Honestly, I really do. Oh, and just as a side note, I was about to pose these guys for the ending segment, but JP's shotgun is also blast effect compatible. So, there's that too. So, there is the Jurassic Park Transformers crossovers of Tyrannocon Rex and JP12. I highly recommend this set. I got it for $70 on Amazon. Okay, I round up. It was like 66 something. It was 66 something for the base set, and then plus taxes, shipping, handling, stuff like that. Brought it up to about 70. Which, for a deluxe class and a leader class, is not that bad. I mean, fuck. Just, Scrapper and Bone Crusher cost about what this set cost before taxes. Like, Scrapper and Bone Crusher, you know, after taxes and everything was like 63. These two were like 66 before taxes. So, you know, that's really not that bad. But, yeah, the set is an Amazon exclusive. So if you want the set, you're gonna have to get it off Amazon. if your luck is anything like mine, it'll come in a box 3 times bigger than the box the figures come in, which is already a massive box. But, you know, I was not expecting the box to be that fucking big, I will say. But yeah, I highly recommend the set. If you've never held the Beast Wars Megatron mold, this will be a great first experience, like it was with me, because now I want that Beast Wars Megatron and the maximal version T-Rex, like Wrecker Rex, whatever. I kind of want those figures now because of Tyrannocon. But yeah, so that's been my review of the set. Like, give it a like, comment down below, subscribe. Like I said, I highly, highly recommend this set. If you can. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Peace.